My wife secretly got engaged to her boss, then cheated on me in her own office. She didn't hear me enter the building. No one did. The office was dark except for a thin crack of yellow spilling out from her boss's door, the only room still lit at 9:47 p.m. I stood in that empty hallway, staring at that light, my heartbeat slow, too slow for what I already knew. Calm in a way that felt unnatural, dangerous. Because 10 minutes earlier, an email meant for him arrived on my phone, a calendar invitation, engagement party, private, for Emily and Derek, my wife's name, her boss's name, sent to his personal account, forwarded by some glitch to the shared home inbox she forgot I still monitored. I opened the door to the building with the spare card she didn't know I kept, walked through the silent lobby, rode the empty elevator, not angry, not even afraid, just awake. Awake in a way I hadn't been in years. As I approached the door, I heard a voice, her voice, breathy, laughing, falsely soft. Not the tone she used with me anymore, the tone she saved for him. Something inside me shifted, like a camera slowly zooming out, letting me see everything from a new, cold distance. I pushed the door open without knocking. The room froze. Bodies jerked. Eyes widened. Not because they were caught, but because of my expression. A stillness so controlled, so quiet, it frightened them more than being exposed. That was the moment she realized something. I wasn't here to scream. I was here to end something. Maybe everything. The light buzzed above us as she tried to speak my name, but I only looked at her, not at what she was doing, not at him. Just her. Because the real betrayal had happened long before tonight, and she knew it. She scrambled to fix herself, adjust her clothes, hide what didn't matter anymore. Her hands trembled. Mine didn't. Why are you here?" she whispered, as if that was the question, as if she didn't know. I watched her boss, Derek, step back, clearing his throat, pretending to straighten his tie though the collar was still wrinkled and damp. His arrogance leaked through his panic. "Man, this isn't what it looks like," he muttered, the classic line of the unoriginal. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. My silence made them twist, made them unravel. Emily looked at me, really looked, and she recognized something she hadn't seen in years. Someone who had stopped hoping, stopped trusting, stopped believing her. Maybe she sensed the truth behind my stillness. That this moment wasn't a shock, it was confirmation. Because the betrayal didn't start tonight, it started months ago. With the late meetings, the muted texts, the sudden perfume that wasn't hers. The way she said my name like it was an obligation, not affection. But the worst part wasn't what she did. It was what she pretended. Her hand reached out toward me now, shaking. "Please, listen," I finally spoke. Just one sentence. "How long?" She froze. I could see the exact instant she realized she had two options: lie or reveal just how little she respected me. "It just happened," she whispered. Coward's answer. My jaw tightened, just slightly. She noticed. And in that subtle movement, she finally understood. This wasn't about catching her. This was about everything she'd done before tonight. Everything she thought I'd never find out. Everything she thought I was too blind or too loyal to see. She was wrong, very wrong. I didn't confront her when the late nights began. I didn't question her when she started guarding her phone. I didn't argue when she became distant, cold, unreachable. No, I watched, quietly, observing the way she smiled at her screen instead of me. How she'd come home smelling like a cologne I didn't wear. How she'd flinch when I walked into a room unexpectedly. She thought my silence was weakness. It was calculation. That's why 3 weeks ago I placed a recorder in her car. Not to hear moans or whispers, I wasn't interested in the physical. I wanted to hear the truth behind her voice, and I did. Conversations with her friends, giggles about the boss, complaints about how boring marriage had become, plans for a future that didn't include me. I listened to every minute. Not once did she mention guilt. Not once did she hesitate. She was building a new life while using mine as the bridge. So I dug deeper. I requested her phone records, checked her email logs, watched her patterns, and then, 2 days ago, I found the document, the engagement contract, a non-disclosure form required from employees who became romantically involved with senior executives. Signed by her. Signed by him. Dated 6 months ago. 6 months. She hadn't just cheated. She had committed to someone else. Quietly, legally, emotionally, while sleeping in my house. Wearing my ring, spending my money, calling me husband. I saved every file, every message, every screenshot, every recording, all of it. Not for revenge, for clarity. Because when someone rewrites their life without telling you, you need proof that you're not imagining the empty space they leave behind. Tonight, when that engagement email accidentally synced to my device, I didn't feel anger. I felt completion. The investigation was over. The truth had a shape now, and it was uglier than anything physical betrayal could ever be. I reached into my jacket and pulled out the envelope. Thick, heavy, the kind of weight only truth can carry. Emily's eyes widened. Derek shifted, pretending to appear brave. "What is that?" she whispered. I placed it on the glass table, neatly, centered, precise. "Open it." My voice was quiet, too quiet. She hesitated, then slowly slid the papers out. The first page made her freeze. Her engagement contract, her signature, Derek's signature, dates, legal stamps. Her lips parted, a small gasp, shock, fear. The second page, screenshots, calendar invites, text drafts she thought she deleted, emails she never meant me to see. The third page, a written transcript of her recorded conversations. When her knees gave out, she grabbed the edge of the desk to keep from falling. "No, no, how did you—" I didn't answer, because it didn't matter. She read the words she said behind my back, every insult, every plan, every lie. Her boss looked pale now, sweat forming under the collar he had just fixed. "You planned this?" he muttered. "Jesus, you planned all of this." "I prepared," I corrected. Emily looked up at me, tears forming. Not from guilt, from panic. "Please, we can talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about." She reached for me. I stepped back, watching the realization hit her like a slow, crushing wave. I wasn't the desperate husband begging for her loyalty. I wasn't the blind fool she thought she could manipulate. I was the man who already knew everything. And tonight wasn't a confrontation. It was the conclusion. I took out one final document, a thin, folded sheet of paper. The silence in the room tightened, thickened. Emily wiped her face. "What is that?" "Your severance agreement," I said calmly, "and your exit plan." Her eyes widened with horror. I continued. "You'll pack your things from our home tomorrow morning. My lawyer will be there to supervise." She shook her head violently. "No, no, please." "You'll sign the divorce papers by noon." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. "You'll leave with the items listed on page 3, nothing else." Her breathing turned sharp, panicked. I made a mistake, okay? Please, listen." I didn't. "This isn't punishment," I said quietly. "This is accountability." She collapsed into the office chair, shaking. Derek tried to speak. "This is unnecessary. You're overreacting." I turned to him. "Your engagement contract violates company policy. HR will receive copies in the morning." His face drained completely. "And the board will receive the recordings." He staggered back like he'd been struck. You'll ruin me." "No," I said. "You ruined yourself." The man slumped into the corner, already defeated. I turned back to my wife. Once the love of my life. Now a stranger shaped like a memory. "You chose him," I said softly. "Now you can have him." The room felt colder, quieter. She whispered through tears, "Please, don't leave me." I didn't respond. Because she didn't lose me tonight. She lost me the first time she chose secrecy over honesty. She just didn't know it until now. I walked out of the office without looking back. Not once. My footsteps echoed down the hallway. Calm, steady, deliberate. Freedom sounding itself into existence. Outside, the night air tasted different, sharper, cleaner. I didn't feel heartbreak. She had taken that from me long ago. I didn't feel rage. She wasn't worth that anymore. I felt clarity. A cold, bright understanding. You can survive betrayal. You can endure lies. You can rebuild trust. But you cannot save someone who enjoys breaking you. When I reached my car, my phone buzzed. A message from her. "Please come back. I love you." I stared at it for a long moment, then deleted it. Not because I hated her, but because the man who once needed her was gone. And in his place stood someone stronger, quieter, sharper. Someone who understood that pain can become power when you stop hiding from it. I started the engine, took one final breath of the night, and let the past burn itself out behind me. Sometimes endings don't need flames. Sometimes the cold is enough to finish the job.
How could you do this?